This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Yo, Mike, what's happening, man? It's, seems like a slow week in the bowling world.
No, not really. I mean, not if you're a Junior Gold follower. It's not a slow week. I mean, social media for Junior Gold is popping this week. Popping. Parents telling other parents, stop yelling at your kid. That might have been my favorite post of the week. Stop yelling at your children. Listen, if I want to yell at my kid, I'm going to yell at my kid. Okay? If I drove all the way to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and my kid's hacking it up, averaging 120 while I'm watching somebody else on their pair average 250, my kid's going to get a tongue lashing. Okay? I'm sorry.
But, Mike, it's all about the positive experience. You know, that's another. You know, it's funny. And this is really, I was looking to do this, but I couldn't find a good meme. I wanted to create a meme of all the different type of Junior Gold parents on social media. Like there's like, I think, categories of parents and how each of them are when it comes to their kids in Junior Gold. So like, for instance, like you have the one parent who, like you said, is yelling at their kid after every shot.
Right, the frustrated parent. You have the cheerleader parent who's going to say they did great no matter what they do.
The
You
big
have the
damn
parent who's going to complain about everything from there being no free water to it being too hot to the lanes being too hard to the
how about
bowling alleys being too far apart.
The parent that brags about their kid, the fig jam parent.
Oh, I mean that's all of them. One of my favorite parts. If we're gonna get into this right away, just let me announce because Rob, people do come here to hear about my league bowling exploits. Nico wants to see if I broke 600. I'm insulted, Nico. 600. I'm insulted. Okay. I didn't bowl league this week. No league this week. I was in Atlantic City, Sunday through Wednesday. At a dance thing for my daughters, and then I had family in from California for the week as well. So no league for me. So yes, if we want to get into this right away, we can get into this right away. But in terms of the parents praising, I've also noticed a trend where the parent will be like, Johnny finished 384th out of 1,500 bowlers. That's top 30% in the country. Johnny's a top 30% bowler in the country. I'm super proud of Johnny. He's top 30%. I mean, 384th place out of 1,500. Didn't make the cut to advancers round or match play, but proud of Johnny. Beat a lot of kids.
So, look, correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm under the assumption that this is a pay-to-enter tournament, correct? There is 0 qualifiers that go into this. Or am I wrong?
No. So you don't follow this enough. You don't follow
Why should I follow it? Why should I?
Because we're bowling podcasters. If we're going to talk about this stuff, we need to at least know what's going on with it.
I have no skin in the game here with Junior Gold, okay?
So, and if I'm wrong, someone correct me, but I'm going on past information here of how it works. Yes, you have to qualify. We discussed this last week. Yes, you have to qualify. But the qualifiers are such that, like, if, say you run a league, okay? Say me and you run a junior league, all right? And let's say that junior league, Rob, is going to be 18 weeks long. Okay, it's half of a regular
Oh,
league.
we did discuss
Okay.
this. Okay, I'm
What
remembering
people
now.
need to understand is that all 18 of those weeks, right? Let's say we have 18 bowlers. All right,
To
let's
pick
say we
one
have
of every
18
week.
bowlers. Okay, one kid is qualifying every single week.
Gotcha.
Right, we're using every week as a junior gold qualifier.
Okay.
And then one kid is qualifying every week, right? Even if they finish in 18 out of 18th because everyone else has qualified, they are now qualifying. Okay. I do not believe that anything is free after that. That's the real question you asked. I believe that the parents have to pay the entry fee. The parents obviously have to pay the travel and hotel expenses and expenses of the trip and all that. I don't think there's anything free about it. Okay, now, do I think it should be free? Yes, I do. I think that's how few kids should get invited to this tournament, that the USBC should be able to run qualifiers all around the country, different regional qualifiers, and the winners of those regional qualifiers that go to junior gold finals, they should go for free. At least they're a travel voucher. No tournament entry and a travel voucher, right? Something like that. Maybe not for free, but yeah. So again, to highlight, oh, I made it here.
Yeah, I've seen
I
that before.
qualified. I mean, how many parent posts did you see that were like, oh, I'm proud of Johnny just for qualifying. It's amazing. Listen, they're clueless. But to be honest with you, like the USBC is not doing anything different than any other sports organization out there, right? If I'm being completely frank about it, every sport that I see has people that if you pay them money and you stay involved in it enough, they will call you elite. They will find a way to call you elite. Okay? And that's the word that all the parents want to hear. My kid is elite. My kid is elite. Even if it means that all the kids who qualify are quote unquote elite, the parents still want to hear that. I also find it interesting that I have said for numerous years, Rob, that the whole thing about junior gold and their record you love when I get on this rant. I have said for years that junior gold and their string of record setting entries. You remember this? Okay? For years it was record setting entries. Well, guess what? Guess what? Those days are over and the numbers are already on the decline. Okay? So watch 3-5 years from now. Watch what happens. Okay? Because the numbers are already on the decline. All right. And yeah, I feel like I saw a lot of posts this week from parents who were saying they were bowling in the U18 division and it was their first year out there. All right, well, what does that tell you? That tells you that like those are kids who are going to be 1 year and done or 2 years and done. Right? And that's it. So yeah, it's interesting to me. It's interesting.
I do feel like though there are a lot of kids and parents who do get a positive experience from going there. I mean, we make it sound so bad. I mean, the last like 2 shows we made it. If a parent listens to this show exclusively, like they would never like even want to even go near this tournament. But I mean, and I know you're so against this tournament as just how it's I said like how the qualifiers and how everybody.
I think I'm just against the culture of making everyone elite.
Right.
I think that's really what I'm against. Like I'm against the culture of making everyone elite and saying, "Oh, everyone's elite because they made it to this level." No, I mean it's a farce. Like you look at the scores for this tournament, and you got kids averaging 250, 250 plus for a 4-game block. Okay, they're shooting over 1,000 for a 4-game block. You got other kids averaging in the 120s. I mean, come on. 130 pin per game average difference. Like that's I don't know, that invalidates it to me, I guess.
So I guess to sum it up, and I want to be clear here, there is a place for a national junior tournament.
Absolutely.
I think what we're on the same page and I think a lot of people are on the same page, like just reading through social media and a lot of comments, whatever, that there needs to be a little bit of a more stricter eligibility qualifying in order to qualify to go to the national champion. I think your eligibility and your criteria, I think, is probably way stricter than I think it should be. Like you probably would want, let's just say, I don't know. Okay, let's just say there's 1,000 kids right now in the under division, right? Whatever.
Oh, there's way more than that. But go ahead.
Okay, let's just, for the sake of argument, we say there's 1,000 entries right now that entered the under 12 division.
Well,
like,
yeah, let's say U18 because that's the biggest
okay,
division.
Okay, so let's just say there's 1,000 kids. How many? And I'm asking you the question first. How many would you like to see actually? You know what? Call 2,000. Okay, just because it's
like 1,400.
Okay, so let's call 1,400.
Right.
Out of the 1,400 that are in that division, how many would you actually like to see go to a tournament that should only be a week long tournament if they're going to cut the 1,400 into a certain percentage?
Numbers going to be high. 500.
500's high. I'm thinking more like Score More type entry. I think Score More. When Score More sold out at Cavalier when we were younger, I think they were around 250, and I think that was like still a lot of kids shouldn't have been.
But Score More. No disrespect to Score More, one of the greatest junior tournaments ever, but it was more a junior regional than it was a junior national, right? The only national kids I ever remember coming to Score More were Rory Kalanquin and Andrew Kane. Do you remember any other national kids from outside the Northeast section of the country that came to Score More? And those two, that wasn't until 1998 when Score More left Cavalier and went to Mid-State for the first time. And I believe that was the last year that it was run.
Yeah.
Right. So
I guess I'm just using it as like a benchmark for my own thought. Like,
right, but I'd be okay with 250. I'd be okay with 250. I just think even if you wanted to have 500, okay, that's fine. But here's the real point to me, Rob. This is where I have a problem. Okay, this is where my argument lies with this event. If they, like you said, if they had a national junior tournament, right, and there was no qualifying process for it, you did not have to qualify. All you had to do was go sign up and bowl, right? Similar to USBC Nationals, let's say. All right, you bowl singles, doubles, team, okay, but juniors, all right, they would get nowhere near the entries that they get for junior gold. Okay, the reason.
They're selling a false narrative.
Yes, the reason they get the entries that they get is because they're selling the people who are entering on the fact that you qualified for this, that you made it to this. Oh, don't miss this opportunity. You made it to this. You know, and like really, yes, you might have made it to this, but whether you are actually at a level to be competitive at this is a completely different question, a completely different conversation.
So here's my question here. What would your thoughts be if they would, let's just say, run like a 2-day PTQ at the event?
No, stupid. Because you're still forcing kids and families to spend a bunch of money to come and take a shot at an event. You know, if anything, like I said, it should be regional qualifiers, a weekend event, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event, where, you know, kids and families from junior gold community can show up, bowl numerous regionals throughout the year. Maybe there's 3, 4 throughout the year in each region. And listen, if you don't qualify through that, then you don't go. And that's it. But again, like, you know, the USBC says this isn't a moneymaker for them. As I've said in the past, I find that hard to believe. I do. Yeah.
What do you feel? How do you feel about the divisions? Do you feel like there's too many divisions? They should cut those out.
Of course. I mean, there's no need for U12, 11-year-olds bowling on sports shots, deciding who the best in the country is. I mean, is that really necessary? You know, I like the U15 and U18 I like that. I don't think that's bad. But I think U12 is a little bit young. Again, just a lot of changes that I would make to it. And I agree with you. Like, it's okay to have a national junior bowling tournament, but you just shouldn't be selling people on the idea that you qualify for some when really they're not going to be a competitive factor in the event at all. And at a certain point, it diminishes the overall quality of the event. Not so much the disparity in the competition. It's more so the numbers, the logistics, the fact that you have to shorten qualifying rounds and because you have so many people. These are the things that I say detract from the overall event.
The one thing that surprises me is I couldn't imagine as a 15 to 16-year-old junior bowler, and I was a very good junior bowler. We were all good junior bowlers, right? But I can't even imagine trying to sell my dad specifically to take a 2-week trip. A 2-week trip that mostly probably would have to be on an airplane to a hotel for a bowling tournament. I was trying to sell him to go to a 2-day event, and it was hard. I mean, the money and the time off of work and a lot of other things that go into it. I can't imagine all these parents are doing that, are taking 2 full weeks, or maybe whatever it is, even a full week, because I think the second week is for like the finals, right? I mean, I don't know really the format. But
well, I know like it starts on a weekend, and then so you're going to be there at least the weekend, like at least the Saturday, Sunday, probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then
the whole
you're going
weekend.
to be there at least 4 days the next week for qualifying.
So you're almost figuring about 7 or 8 full days.
Right.
And you're going to a place that's not even like, look, I'm not like knocking Green Bay, Wisconsin here, but you're not exactly going to Orlando for like Disney, or you're not exactly going to a place that's a tourist like type of attraction. Next year is in Minneapolis. That's not exactly a place you go on vacation unless you find legitimately the vacation like places around there. But I couldn't even imagine trying to like go or selling my parents to go somewhere in the middle of nowhere, in a sense, right, in Wisconsin, to take time off to go bowl a junior tournament like that. You're probably going to spend thousands, probably. The bigger family, you're probably running into over $5,000 in expenses easy for a junior tournament. I just think that it's pretty incredible that actually they're getting this amount of entries and this amount of many people that are bowling, honestly, or kids.
Yeah, but when you look and you go on social media and you see parents posting GoFundMe saying, hey, so-and-so has qualified for this national junior tournament. They're one of the best junior bowlers in their age group in the country. Right? Like that's what's motivating the parents to do that. Right? If it was just, anybody can enter, this is open entry, pay your entry and you're in. If that's what it was, how many of these parents would be like, yeah, I'm going to go spend $5,000 and spend all this time out wherever this bowling tournament is?
Yeah.
I don't know if the numbers would have been anywhere near the same over the years, and that's been my problem with this tournament over the years, is that you're selling parents something that it's really not, and that's where I have an issue with it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Stangman wants to know about getting ads during the live stream. I think that's a new YouTube thing. I'm not really sure.
It's Rob trying to make us more money. All right, relax.
Yeah, because we're swimming in it.
Yourself. Just watch the ad. Okay,
we're swimming in it.
Just watch the ad.
Okay? Yeah, because I'm about to quit my job here to do this full time.
Rob is hell bent on turning a profit with this podcast. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to turn off the in-stream ads, or you guys could just deal with it and help us out here by watching some ads.
It's terrible.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So let's transition the talk then into the PWBA finals.
Okay.
No?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
is that where you thought I was going, or no? You want to go
No,
somewhere else?
because we could transition. There's another part of this we can transition. Is some urethane talk, because I did read that there was a ton of urethane going down the lanes this week at the Junior Gold.
I'm not going to front. Okay. A lot of times I won't talk about rumors I hear on here until they become official, but I think this one is so juicy that we have to speculate. We have to speculate.
Yeah. So
I'm hearing. I
yeah.
am hearing through
What are you hearing?
numerous channels in the bowling world. The streets are talking, son. And what your boy is hearing is that the USBC and the PBA are going to ban urethane in competition.
That's so many thoughts
juicy.
here.
Juicy. What?
There's so many thoughts here.
It's so lame to
Do
me.
you believe
Want me to
it?
get my thoughts first?
Yeah.
It's
Do you believe it?
lame with a capital L. Okay? Lame with a capital L. If they do that, I'm coming after the USBC. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. So they'll ban older equipment that has been proven to be less effective, okay, in many playing environments, but they won't do anything about the fact that Mamma Mia can release the ball spinning backwards, and by the time it hits the pins, it's throwing messengers like Belmo rolled it. We're not going to do anything about that. We're going to do something about the urethane, but we're not going to do anything about the out-of-control equipment across the board in the game. We're not going to do anything about the out-of-control easy lane conditions in the game. We're gonna worry about urethane. I don't know.
Do you
Kevin's
believe it?
here in the same rumor. The streets are talking. Okay, I'm just saying.
Do you believe it? Because when there's smoke, there's fire in the bowling world. I've learned that rumors tend to have
small community
validity.
in the bowling world. It's a small community.
And rumors do have validity.
When my contacts in the bowling world tell me things, they're usually things that they're right about.
Oh, okay, so let's talk about how I'm not going to say I'd be against it. Okay, just because I understand.
Of course, you're not against it.
Urethane takes a lot out of the sport of bowling, in a sense of versatility, throwing the ball down the lane. And what I mean by that is when I remember when I was bowling more competitively, let's just say before the dominance of the pitch black and the purple hammer, and you were to bowl on cheetah is a good example. You had to be forced to change hand positions and ball speed, or use some kind of smooth asymmetrical ball with like a 1-inch pin to try to calm down your reaction on a short pattern like cheetah. You were forced to make actual bowling adjustments physically to conquer the lane condition. With the emergence of the new urethane and the purple hammers and the pitch blacks, that part of the game is non-existent, because you don't have to change physically a lot of your game these days to match up to a shorter pattern, because you could just throw urethane and not have to worry about hand positions and ball speed. And we talk about this all the time with a lot of the lefties on tour. They have a hard time when urethane is not in play for them. They have a very hard time getting out of the urethane and using performance. And this has been a little bit of a handcuff for a really long time, or a cheat code, I should say, not a handcuff, a cheat code in the sense that these players don't have to change hand positions and change ball speeds to hit patterns. They just use urethane and they just try to figure it out with urethane. So I don't know. I kind of would be interested to see what would happen if they did take urethane out of play.
So to be clear here, You want to see it happen.
I do.
Okay. Kev, I feel like you're calling me out, bro, from the chat. I'm not going to lie. Do we have beef, Kev? Did we just develop beef, me and you? Because I feel like you're calling me out here.
Read the comment.
He says, if you want tougher patterns, me, then you should also be against urethane. Urethane allows people to override and manipulate the patterns. Okay. Kev, let me present another side of it to you, though, right? Maybe it's the patterns that are the problem. Maybe it's the patterns that should change and not the ban on urethane. Right? I mean,
well,
if they wanted to, they could 100% put patterns out on the lanes that would negate the effectiveness of the urethane equipment in today's environment. Okay, now what other effects that would have is a long discussion, right? But at a bottom line, if the powers that be wanted to put out conditions that would negate the effectiveness of urethane, they could do that. They don't have to ban urethane. They could change the lane conditions.
I mean, what about the lane surfaces, though? Because you really can't change those. And sometimes, regardless of the lane pattern you put out, urethane's in play because of the lane surface.
No, then I would do whatever research is necessary to figure out when we encounter a lane surface like that, what do we do? And I know what people are thinking. People are thinking, oh, Mike's saying flood the lanes and put ridiculous amounts of oil on them so urethane. No, actually, I think part of the solution might be less oil in those situations that you're referring to, Rob, where you have a surface where it seems like urethane works no matter what. Why don't we try even less oil on the lane, right? And see if that makes urethane less playable or less effective. Okay. So I don't know. I just don't like, I really think it's disingenuous. I do. I think it's disingenuous of the USBC to ban a piece of equipment that has been in the game for decades, right? To the point where new iterations of equipment have come out that are far superior to this piece of equipment that you're going to ban, that have created far more issues, far larger issues in our game than this equipment that you're going to ban, not to mention not addressing anything about the lane conditions. Okay. To me, it's a cop-out. It's kind of disingenuous, you know. See, this is Charlie Tapp. This is what I'm saying, right? And listen, I'm no expert on any of this. Okay, I'm just an experienced bowler, right? And I watch a lot. But this is part of what I'm saying, right? This is a more technical side of what I'm saying.
Read it.
He says the front part of the lane is ridiculously wet. Volumes are through the roof. Okay, so my point, Charlie, is maybe if they tamed back on that, right, and you didn't see so much volume in the front part of the lane, maybe if you didn't see so much oil on the lane in general, maybe that might impact how effective urethane is. Okay, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Isn't it easier for USBC to just put it on the ball companies instead of themselves?
No, because again, what's the sense of banning a piece of equipment that's been in the game for decades?
Why?
Just because it's now effective again, we're going to ban it? I don't. I mean, where was that thinking when resin came into play? If we're banning a piece of equipment because it's too effective, where was that thinking when resin came into play? And by all means, why don't we just go back to bowling with rubber? Why don't we just make it plastic only? We don't have to worry about any of this. You know, I don't see the logic in banning urethane, but then you're allowed these other monster balls that are just, you know, that have just absolutely changed the game in so many ways. I mean, it just seems ridiculous to me. I don't know.
What would there? Okay, now back to the original point here and the rumor, because this is a rumor. This is a very
speculation here.
This
Speculation here.
Far-fetched.
But when it becomes fact, remember where you heard it first. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, because we covered some rumors. Remember when the Fox TV deal rumor?
Speculation, Rob.
Speculation.
A lot of times what we speculate on happens to become truth. So.
But we knew that there was a little bit more validity to that from when we went and heard stuff from the Hall of Fame dinner where we talked to a lot of people. We kind of knew that rumor was a little bit more valid. This rumor, I think, is a little bit more far-fetched. But I do think that when there's smoke, there's fire. Okay, but to the original question is, why? Why do you think they're even considering like this? Like, what is their reasoning for banning it? And before it was, oh, well, the balls are getting softer after they're getting thrown. And now they took care of that by introducing the 78 portion of it. I'm talking the PBA.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't have an answer for you there, honestly. That's a good question.
You think they're on my like page where they're thinking that it's taking out of the game because of just how you could just throw urethane on a lot of everything, and it's taking out of the part of the game of adjustments and speed and hand positions and
no, because honestly, I don't think they care about any of that.
So then why even consider it?
I think what we're likely to see is that some research they've conducted more recently has brought back the idea that, oh, these balls do get softer even more than we thought. Raising the hardness didn't work, so our next that to me, that's going to be their reason. Raising the hardness.
You want to know my reason? Do you want to hear mine?
Go ahead.
Now I'm putting my tinfoil hat on here, Mike.
Oh, jeez. Ball sales. But I don't. But hold on a minute. Does that even make sense? Does that even make sense? Because if the urethane balls are so effective, don't you think that those are cheaper to make for a ball company?
But you can't do
ball with chemicals in the cover and a weight block in it and all that. A urethane ball is not cheaper to make.
No, because
why are you snapping at me, son?
Because you can't release a new release greatest. Strongest and longest, greatest benchmark urethane every 3 months. Okay,
sure you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. You just can. You can
on that, John. You can put a lipstick on a pig; it's still a pig.
No. Listen, okay. The average bowler today don't even know there ain't weight blocks in these urethane balls.
How many different urethane balls can they release? How many different urethane balls can they release, though, in a year? You can't release a new urethane ball every 3 months and put a new color on it.
We'll have them all. The Patch Pirates will have them all.
You understand what I'm saying,
they can release
though, right?
12 urethane balls. You know how many ball reviews your brother will do?
12. I know. 12. But you understand what I'm saying, though, right? Like, I don't.
I need someone to tell me, are the urethane balls cheaper to make? How much cheaper?
I don't think the margins
the same amount.
I don't think the margins are as big as they are in the high performance balls. I think the high performance balls is where the bread and butter is for the ball companies. Like, I think the $220 to $230 balls are a lot. They make more money than a Purple Hammer, which, by the way, lasts a very long time considering a high performance ball gasses out.
That's a great point. The Purple Hammer I drilled like 10 years ago is still a tank.
Still great.
The thing is, the longer you throw it, the better it gets, honestly. It reacts better than it ever did.
So Here's what I think happened. Back to my tinfoil hat conspiracy.
All right.
I think the bowling ball companies got to the USBC and they said, we got to find a way to get urethane out of commission because it's affecting our high performance ball sales. Because instead of somebody like me, when I was younger, going in and drilling the newest, greatest release that I saw some pro bowling on TV, all you see now is the pros throwing the same urethane ball, the IQ 78 or the black 78, and prior the Purple Hammer, and they drill it once or maybe two, but after that, you can't market these balls the same way as you can market the high performance balls in these new releases. I think this is a complete behind the scenes ball company getting with USBC a complete money thing to get the USBC to ban it so that they can go back to selling high performance balls and having the pros on TV throw the high performance balls. tinfoil hat, Mike. Take it for what it is. But money talks in companies, and there's a reason for everything, and usually it's a financial benefit for everybody.
I mean, I'm with you. I hear you. I definitely hear what you're saying. But
by the way, Nico agrees with me. I think this is the first time we've been doing the show where Nico actually agrees with me on something. I appreciate you, Nico. Always in the chat, though, my guy. All right, Mike. I want to. Can we move on from urethane, or do you want to go and talk about?
I just want to make one more point.
Okay.
I just want to make one more point.
Okay.
That if that happens, it's going to have a drastic impact on what the PBA standings look like going forward.
Ooh, juicy.
It is.
Do two-handers all of a sudden the two-handed bowlers find themselves
struggling on the shorter patterns.
Struggling
on the shorter patterns. Lefties are no longer existent. Lefties are extinct now. Okay, there's going to be a book about how lefties became extinct. Okay, at the professional level, and the story is going to go like this: they used urethane for so long, then they banned urethane. Okay, and that's how the lefties became extinct. So to me, yeah, this could have drastic impacts. The other thing that I would like to throw out there, and this is more of a question, is like, will the ball companies find a workaround to this? You know how Motive has their micropolymer, such and such?
Right. You never. Yeah, could be. Like, that would be interesting. Would those get banned?
Right. Well, we'll know if you're right if all of a sudden Brunswick and Storm are releasing micropolymers that cost $310.
The crazy part about it is, like, this would it would benefit so many pros, and it would greatly decrease the other pros, like, in a sense. Like, EJ Tackett would just be this much better if they ban urethane, because the kid barely throws urethane as it is, right? Like, he throws his tanks, whatever. And it would just, all of a sudden, guys like, Bill O'Neill, who was already a top 5, that would benefit Bill, even though Bill does like to throw urethane. Chris Barnes and a lot of the PBA50 guys might be able to be relevant again on tour, in a sense. I think it might bring back the old school one-handed traditional technician type of style, right? With
Chris Prather.
I'm just saying, like, it would be a huge change in the PBA and in bowling in general if all of a sudden the urethane, and I'm here for it. I want to see it. Do it. Chad Murphy, if you listen to the show, and I know sometimes you do, let's go. Ban that shit. Ban it. And watch the smile on my face.
Yo, you're too hyped, son.
Oh man, I love talking about banning urethane. Even though I like to throw it when I'm bowling, because I can't hit the short patterns with high performance. So I'm one of those guys that I was talking about who can't throw performance balls on short patterns. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the PWBA show last Sunday, because we were on air as the show was going on. And I read an interesting article by Jeff Riggles about how the PWBA TV show, it should be a template of how the PBA and the PWBA should do their shows. Obviously, there's a financial impact where they can't do that for every show. But I found it interesting because we had Belmo on the show a while back when we were talking about the Olympics. He came on, when the Olympics got kind of next, whatever, and he told us an idea about where bowling should be in a stadium and have surrounding seats from the lanes, right? If you remember when he was telling, but there should be a way for the crowd to be able to watch bowling even from behind the pin setters. Right. And I think that was a very interesting point. watching the show or trying to watch highlights on CBS Sports and the atmosphere with the arena and all the 6,500 people that were there from carrying over from the Junior Olympic Gold opening ceremonies. I saw Belmo's vision kind of coming to fruition in this PWBA show. The only thing that was missing was the fact that people couldn't watch from behind the lanes, which I think would be awesome if they could figure out a way to do that, where people could actually see the ball knocking the pins down from actually behind the lanes, and as well as maybe having a bigger screen. I could picture this like Dallas Cowboy type 360 jumbotron where you could watch bowling from all angles. But I kind of would love to see the PBA in Jeff. I agree with Jeff in his article when he wrote about having the PBA piggyback off of this show, which they should do on a weekly, like on a yearly basis. But I would love the PBA to be able to back to back with the PWBA here on shows for like in this atmosphere. I think this would be a perfect environment for a major. Mike, how cool would the finals of the US Open or the Masters be, which we've seen before, right? It's nothing new. The Masters, when Sean Rash won in the Milwaukee Stadium, was a really cool atmosphere, right? But I think this is a good opportunity for the PBA to like join in on the festivities here. And watching the show and the highlights, I mean, how could you not be a fan of this atmosphere? We didn't get a chance to watch live. I don't have CBS Sports either, but I was able to go back and watch a lot of the highlights from it, and it was it was awesome. Even though we know they were there for free, and you commented on the fraudulent attendance and they had, but other than that, though, this was a great show, and this was something that bowling needs to strive for.
I agree with you. It's just, where else do you get the opportunity to have that many fans to pack an arena to watch a bowling show?
Right. Yeah. That's the problem. And that's why if you're going to have 6,500 and all these thousands of kids and their parents showing up to an opening ceremony, this is the venue to do it. And this was the perfect pairing. And the PWBA should get a huge shout out to USBC here for doing this and having that idea to have this show with opening ceremonies, because they understand that too, right? They're not going to get a venue where they're going to have all these parents and kids in one setting. So let's run a show so that they're there and they're able to watch a show, which is awesome to me.
Yeah, that just wasn't the way the idea went down, though. You know this as well as I do.
How do you think it went down then?
It went down like, oh my God, that's what we have to pay to rent the rest center? Oh my God. All right, well, we better find another way to use it then, because we can't pay that and only have opening ceremonies there. What can we do? Oh, we can have a PWBA show there at the same time? All right, yes, let's do that.
But doesn't installing lanes increase that cost dramatically?
No, yes. But not if you have to rent it twice.
Well, I mean, look, they piggybacked off the rent, right? But it costs, the cost to install lanes and put a TV production into this arena I can't even imagine the money.
I hear you.
But it was a good venue, and I think I'd like to see, I guess my point in this whole thing is I'd like to see the PBA, with Jeff said in his article, I'd like to see the PBA piggyback off of this. The problem is the timing of the Junior Gold, which is in the summer, usually in July. The PBA right now, they don't have anything really going on at this time, so they would have to figure out a way to schedule a few something months after the season essentially ends, right? But you know what I would do if I was the mixed doubles tournament that's going to happen here in the next few weeks? I would find the way for the mixed doubles tournament to get on this, because I think it would be really cool to see the finals of the mixed doubles tournament that the Pros Bowl with the PWBA to be on this show. I think that would be actually pretty cool.
But there's just so many problems involved. The mixed doubles, that takes place in Texas. Junior Gold next year is going to be in Minneapolis.
I know it's tough.
So yeah,
it's tough.
I mean, the PWBA seems the best suited to be able to pull something like this off on a regular basis. But yeah, I just think it would be a much harder thing to pull off and organize if you're involving the PBA. That's all.
Yeah, but I think the PBA could run a tournament though in July. They could do it if they wanted to. Just run some PBA title tournament and do it in the area where the junior gold is, and then have the finals on the TV. I don't think the players would have a beef against it. I'd rather see them do that than run some nonsense type event that they end up showing on TV, like some strike derby or something. I'd rather see them invest in that and putting the finals on an arena setting like that. I think it's good for both all professional bowling, honestly.
Right. All right, Rob, you ready to give the people what they want?
I am. Might be a longer worst of the week with junior gold happening, but I mean, hey, we're here for it. That's what they do.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Kevin brings up too. We didn't even mention who won. Josie Barnes ended up winning. I know we brought it up, I think, last week. So shouts to Josie, man. Great show to win. I'm sure a lot of those women bowling were nervous. That's an atmosphere that they're not used to. I know that the two-handed bowler Nora, throws the ball fantastic. For her being a first show, that atmosphere must have been super nerve-wracking for her. She throws it so good though, two-handed. I like to see her become a superstar. I would love for her to be. I think she'd be really good for the PWBA.
No doubt.
All right, Mike. I go first here. I can go first. This is a JOG worst of the week. Parents watch. We're still on Parent Watch 2025. My worst of the week is going to Jessica Coswell. Jessica wrote in a little bit of a longer post here. We'll get through it though. My son finished his last youth ball during the advanced qualifier round. I want to add that he threw 0. Yes, I said 0 urethane balls during the entire junior gold tournament. Never added the ball to his arsenal either. Shout out to all the other kids who never did either. Anyone thinking they can't, you can. You can. If you did, comment below. And then she ends it up. I think that was her original post. And then I think she got lit the hell up, right? Lit up. Okay. So then she adds a disclaimer, I think. Star added to my post because people took it wrong. You think? You think they took it wrong, Jessica? I completely understand why it may have come off as hating urethane. You think? You think, Jessica? I am not bashing any bowlers who use urethane. Okay? It is a great ball to have in your toolbox. I guess it's not because your kid never even had it in his bowling bag, or some of the other kids didn't either. It is a great ball to have in your toolbox. Some kids bowled some phenomenal games using that ball this week. It is not a flex or a brag against those who did use it. It was just his personal goal to try and bowl his best without a urethane. We had some people comment he would not do well without one, but he did. Just letting other kids know they can do it also. I'm sure he was not the only one to do it also. Sorry for the confusions. Congrats to all bowlers.
His goal was to do good without one, and he did. Just not as good as a lot of the kids that did it with one.
I just don't understand, why do you have to go and post it to begin with? Like, what? Why do you have to because Jessica, I'm going to argue with you here. Your original post, it sounded exactly how people took it. Like, my kid was just so much better than your kid because he didn't throw urethane.
No, really. I mean, it sounded like her original post was saying, my kid didn't need the crutch of urethane while a lot of people did. right? That's to me what it was saying. If you used urethane, you needed a crutch. Stop. It's like a Paloozic thing. It's like, if you're two-handed, you got the crutch arm. Oh, you need the crutch arm? I didn't need a crutch arm. You need a crutch arm? Oh, you need a crutch to bowl? I don't need it. My kid didn't need a crutch to bowl. But I mean, just the stupidity of making that statement in the environment that we're currently in, where the Purple Hammer literally might be the best bowling ball of recent make. Yes, like that's not a dramatic statement at all.
No.
Okay. To go to a tournament like this and not have one of those in your bag says everything you need to know. I mean, really, like, those that know would have had a Purple Hammer in their kid's bag no matter what. The only way you wouldn't have a Purple Hammer in your bag is if you're sponsored by Storm, is if you and your kid are Storm Patch Pirates. Your 15-year-old has a Patch Pirate deal with Storm. And in that case, you better have a couple pitch blacks with you, right? I mean, yeah, it's just...
For somebody who at the beginning of the show said, I'm all for the urethane ban, as somebody who's a competitor, who's going to bowl a tournament, a national junior tournament, for you to bowl and have that, and you're bowling on a bunch of different lane patterns, Mike. You're bowling on short, middle, long. They're bowling on a bunch. For your kid not to have urethane in your bag and to brag about it, you're bragging about essentially like not being prepared as much as the other kids. And your kid probably would have done better than he did. And to be proud of the fact that he didn't have some tool in his bag that's going to make him better, but he bowled good anyway. And for her to go and post it, like, what do you think? Like, why post it even? Like, what's my?
They don't know, because like you gotta examine it from the perspective of someone who's clueless, right? So like, how many times throughout the week they probably saw kids shooting 250, 260, 270, 300, and what ball are they using? What ball are they using?
Yeah, Purple Hammer.
Purple Hammer. Okay, and then eventually it's like, oh, why is everyone throwing that ball? Why are all the big scores being shot at that ball? Then somebody probably explains to her, oh, it's a urethane ball. It's different than these other balls. These balls are, and then, and then this is her run, her way of mentally running with that, right? Because again, clueless, right? Doesn't really have a clue what's going on. And it's like, no, if you had a clue, you would have had them already. You would have had one already. So yeah, it's just, I mean, again, it just speaks to the goofiness of this tournament. Kids showing up. I see posts from parents leaving for the tournament, and I put this out on Twitter too, where they had like one bowling bag, but 50 vacation bags. Okay? No. Let's be clear. If you're going to Junior Gold to compete, you should have 50 bowling bags and maybe 2 or 3 vacation bags, okay? Because all you need is clothes for the bowling alley. We ain't going anywhere but the bowling alley and places to eat, all right? That's it. It's all we're doing is hanging in the bowling alley. We're hanging in the bowling alley while we're bowling. We're hanging in the bowling alley when we're not bowling. We're watching. We're figuring out. We're going to the next center we're going to be bowling in, watching the squads there, trying to figure out what we're going to do, okay? I got 50 bowling bags with me because I got to choose what balls I need, but I can't choose them till after practice. So I'm going to have to bring them all. Okay. I mean, really, like,
Real quick, though, I was just thinking.
Here's what it makes me think about. I'm going to be real on this one. It makes me think about how clueless I am as a soccer parent. It does. I'm serious. Like, seeing how clueless these bowling parents are makes me feel like, oh man, like, am I this clueless as a soccer parent? Like my daughter shows some talent. Like, people are telling me she has talent. I'm taking her to all these expensive places to train and that. And like, I don't know if she is or not. I have no idea. I don't know. Like,
is her local soccer league? Is it on a house soccer field?
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that. It's more level of play, I would say. But
real quick, not to go on a tangent here, but I was just thinking about imagine when we were 16, 17. Imagine how much fun though we would have had at this junior tournament for like a week or two because we normally at that age weren't traveling with parents. Like we would all split rooms and we would all like hang out for like a week or two bowling a tournament. I can't imagine the amount of trouble that we would have gotten into.
My dad's dead, so I'm going to tell this story. First year junior gold, 1998. Okay. I had just turned 18 in July. My birthday was actually like last Thursday. It was July 17th.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks. 45. But turned 18, 1998, right? We go to junior gold the following month. Okay. We bowl qualifying. We get done qualifying. And the majority of the people that went out from the JBTs, the guys that I remember being there with us were Pelusic, Fagan, Tommy Haig, Ryan Snyder, Ryan Burley, Don Pyle, Matt Burley, Don Pyle, maybe a couple others. Might be a couple that I miss. Okay. We go out there, we bowl qualifying. I make the cut. Several of us make the first cut. We bowl the next day. Then they cut to the top 16. And I think the only one to make the top 16 from our entire group was Ryan Snyder, if I remember correctly, that first year. Okay, so that night, after we were done bowling, and it was going to be the match play the following day, and the vast majority of us were not bowling, my dad told me, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to Tahoe for the night," because he was a golfer. He liked to golf. And he was like, "I want to go play this golf course in Tahoe. I'm going to drive to Tahoe. I'm going to go stay there for a night or two. I'm going to play this golf course. I'm leaving you at the hotel room. I'm leaving you some cash in the hotel room. Have a good time." I said, okay. So we go out to do so. I forget. We went to go watch Brian bowl the first block or something. We come back to the hotel room, to my hotel room, and my dad has left me numerous cases of beer, okay, with a note, just saying, "Hey, be responsible, but have a good time, have fun with your buddies and whatnot. Good bowling this week." I forget exactly what it said.
Love your dad.
I'm gonna. Oh my God! If the people that know my dad will love this story, they will love this story. But if you didn't know my pops, he was the type of parent that would be going viral every week in our environment today. I'm gonna keep the story short, but I'm gonna let you all know that that night ended with us having a dancer come to my room, okay, and perform privately for a small group of us, okay, and that ended with Tommy Haig and Ryan Snyder's chaperones, because their parents didn't even come out to the event. They came with the owners of the bowling center, Limerick Blaine's, okay, that they qualified through. The owners came out with them. It ended with their chaperones coming into the room while this performance was going on and like shutting the whole thing down. And needless to say, they weren't too thrilled with my dad or me or whatever. So that was our first junior gold experience. So Rob, I mean, like you said, we would have had a blast, bro. We would have been having a great time. I mean, later that summer, we went out to the Youth Masters. Yep. We had a great time out there. I'm not even going to tell the stories from out there, but we had an amazing time out there.
There's a lot of cards being played.
Yeah, cards and just
gambling,
partying, hanging out. It was
gambling cards.
A good time. I mean, listen, most of us were getting ready to go into college in a couple weeks from then. So, oh yes, the JBT legend name drops. I mean, honestly, to me, these aren't name drops. These were the guys back in the day. Rob will attest to this. Like, these are the guys that we hung out with on the regular too. Like, we used to stay at the Snyder's house all the time. When there was a JBT out in their area, Pennsylvania.
I miss those days. I miss those days more than you could ever know. Like, you don't realize at the time, but the bowling days when we bowl JBTs and hang out, like, those were like, everyone had group in high school, had friends they hung out with. My friends in high school were the JBT friends on the weekend. I was going through high school just to get through high school, just to go and hang out on the weekends with my JBT friends.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I was a little bit different in that regard than some of you guys. Like, I was into the bowling, and I had a huge social group through the bowling, but I also had other social groups too.
Yeah,
like there were a lot of weekends where I didn't stay out for the JBT because I was coming home to party with the guys in my neighborhood or girls that I was involved with or whatever. So yeah, I was a little bit scaled back from where you guys were at, but I just had a little bit of a different social life outside of the bowling thing, and yeah, they rarely intersected. But yeah, like I said, it was a good time. It was a fun time back then.
All right, Mike. Let's hear your worst of the week. Let's go. Let's get this going so we could wrap up here. Oh, Robert Hamilton says he saw my brother and Brian Mano. Yo, you want to talk about JBT legend? Robert, Brian Mano. Brian Mano won every JBT, I think, in the New York and the East Coast when he was bowling with my brother, and that he was the guy to beat. Next time you speak to him, tell him I said that. There was no better junior bowler back then than Brian Mano.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely. I remember that name more through college bowling than I do through junior bowling. But
Man,
I just remember Rory Kalanquin and Brian Hatcher. Both finishing 1-2, I believe, at not only junior gold but at the youth masters too. And I was just super impressed by that. Like, wow, like they both finished 1-2. I think they flip-flopped. Like Rory finished first at junior gold and then Hatcher finished first at the youth masters or something like that. But yeah, just super impressed by that back in the day. But okay. How much time do I got? I'm just gonna read a few. I'm doing more than one. I'm just gonna read a few. Congratulations to all these people. They're winning a piece of worst of the week. Tammy Pissarro. So today was the last day of qualifying, and today I watched an official that was on my son's pair of lanes follow that group from lane to lane and picked one kid out of the bunch to sit and talk to the whole time. My son heard him talking to the player, asking him questions about what his ball was doing and getting tips and advice. So how is this fair to everyone else struggling? And the kicker, this kid is in 27th place. I have never seen this happen out here. If he was a coach, then he should not be an official. Coaches should not be in that section. This was a major conflict of interest. Very wrong. Okay, and I'm going to tell you, at the time, this post had 59 comments, and this woman made it so clear that, yeah, she followed up with everyone at the USBC to let them know about this. Oh, boy. Ray Balms, worst of the week. Parents, please, all caps, understand. These kids have enough stress. You screaming obscenities at the officials is not a great help. Son, what is going on at junior? Son, me and you might have to go to junior gold next year, son. We might have to go to this tournament and just walk around and just find out what in God's name is going. Why would someone be screaming at an official? Like, I see that in the soccer world a lot. I get that. But why in bowling? Why are you screaming at the officials in bowling, son?
Yo, could you imagine me and you with cameras waiting for someone to go down and we just start running like through the bowling center? Like,
I want to do man on the street interviews at junior gold. Like, you got your urethane ready? Let's see what they say.
We got to interview the parents. I wouldn't even want to interview the kids.
I'm not interviewing the kids. I'm interviewing the parents. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay, hold on. I got to keep going. You screaming obscenities at the officials is not a great help, believe it or not. Your behavior, these are my favorite when people say this. Your behavior can also cost your kid his or her spot in this event. Let's keep it civil. Disputes can be handled better if kept calm. The officials, most are local volunteers, can help, are willing to help, if not abused. Let's be adults and let the kids be kids. We have discussed in the past that berating your child is not tolerated. This also goes with the officials and other parents. Let's keep this event fun for everyone. Please, someone explain to me why people at Junior Gold are berating the officials. I need to know this. Please email us.
Aren't these officials like working for free? Aren't they volunteers?
Yeah, and why? Like Greg Tack one of the nicest guys I know in bowling flies out every year to go be an official in junior gold. Can you imagine a parent berating Greg Tack over something? Oh my God. And then this person, Ray Baums, we might have to have Ray Baums on as a guest, as a matter of fact. Game Worst of the Week award. We might have to have him on. Who's ranting at another parent? Who's ranting at another parent? Oh my God. I can't. Here we go. Catherine Leah Strickland Rodriguez. Are you kidding me? Stop a child in the middle of their frame for a random ball check? Make of that what you will. You could go in 3 different directions with that.
But I look, before you go on, though, I think they were doing ball checks. If anybody's in the chat or anybody's listening, like they were doing ball checks, I believe. Like the officials, what were we checking for though? Like, are we checking for like banned bowling balls?
Like, I guess, is it one of the balls you registered? Right, I think you have to register a certain number of balls. Maybe someone makes an accusation about a surface being changed or something during play.
Ooh, maybe
it's an accusation about an illegal drill or something on the ball.
Mike. I'll talk to USBC. I want to be one of those people that pulls the bowlers for random checks. So we'll be at the foul line, bro. Be at the foul line, and I'll be like
on front nine. Rob's gonna be like, whoa, hold on, everybody, set it down.
Tapping the shoulder.
Ball check. You should have a dance you do and everything. You should be like, ball check, ball check, ball check.
It'll be like when they bring out the bottle service and there's firecrackers. I would just feel like have a group like following me, and it'll be. But imagine the third step
at the club. It'll be like when you get a bottle at the club, but instead of getting a bottle, you're getting a ball check, right? They got the sprinklers on. They're like carrying a girl on their shoulders, like ball check, ball check.
Someone's in their third step, and I'm just like literally behind them. Yep. Oh, okay.
Leslie Childers. I seen some. Now this.
Dude, Mike said they need a bull check air horn.
Ball check.
Like the Vikings, like the Vikings horn they use and they're in the game.
Leslie Childers. All right. Now this I'm not giving Leslie Worst of the Week. I'm actually giving the USBC Worst of the Week if this post is true. Okay. I seen some complaints. Well, actually, I'm going to give Leslie Worst of the Week too because of her take on this. Sorry, Leslie. Leslie Childers, you get Worst of the Week too. I seen some complaints about the music playing at centers. Yo, USBC, are you seriously playing music during qualifying of Junior Gold, son?
They got a DJ.
Is that what's going on here, bro?
They got a DJ rolling in there.
Oh my God. Okay. I seen some complaints about the music playing at the centers. I only say to each their own. But Ashwaubenon music was straight out of my playlist this morning. Kiss, Billy Squier, Survivor, Def Leppard, Queen.
Hell yeah.
The only thing that would have made it better would have been some Bon Jovi and Poison Cinderella. Laughing out loud.
Hell yeah. Some Queen?
Leslie,
some Queen while
qualifying? Rob, are you okay with music playing during a high-level tournament qualifying? You're all right with that?
I mean, we call it a high-level tournament at this point. I mean...
But that's what I'm saying. It's
the best
junior bowlers in the country. They don't have to concentrate. We're just throwing it out the window.
Nothing gets, Kevin says in the chat, nothing gets the U12 kids pumped up like some Billy Squier. Yo, could you imagine, man? You're minus 500 and you got, and like, you just might as well be jamming a Queen.
Pour some sugar on me.
Yo,
I mean, oh my God, give me a break. And then the funny thing is that the parent posting it is posting it to chastise the people that are complaining about it. And who would I be? I would be the number one guy complaining about it. I'd be standing up on a table screaming at the desk like, yo, shut the music off. Shut the music off.
Shut
This
the
is the
music
most
off.
prestigious junior bowling tournament in the world. Shut the music off.
It's time for a ball check. Shut the music off.
Oh my God.
Shut it off. It's ball check time.
No, now see, I would say when it's ball check time, that's when the music should come on. That's when it should come on. You know what song they should play? They should play Keeping It, I'm Keeping It, I'm Keeping It Hot. I'm Keeping It, I'm Keeping It, I'm Keeping It Hot. Fireball! Da, 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 da. And you come out, you come strolling out. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Almost like your Salt Bay, right? You're carrying a suitcase with your stuff in it. Okay, you like pull out the card all flashy, like, okay. I'm keeping it hot. I'm keeping it hot.
Hey,
Oh my God.
we're completely off the rails.
We are 1,000%. This is what Junior Gold post will do to a bowling podcast, okay? Oh my
Robert
God.
Hamilton wants to play the Jeopardy theme song for ball check.
Anonymous member.
He's still reading posts.
I'm still reading posts. I'm giving worst of the week to anonymous member from Junior Gold questions and answers, tips and chats or whatever. Stop screaming at your kids. That's the post. Stop screaming at your kids. I mean, honestly, anonymous poster. If I want to scream at my kid, I'm going to scream at my kid. Okay. If I drove from wherever to Green Bay, spent all this money, and my kid's hacking it up, I'm gonna yell at my kid if I want to yell at my kid. Okay. Don't tell me. All right. Thank you.
Delta Bomber says we need a live stream from Junior Gold. It would be more like do you remember Triumph the dog from I believe it was Jay Leno, or was it Conan? It was one of them where he would go and make fun of like the people in the street. That would be more us at Junior Gold than it would be us actually interviewing. All right, Mike.
Hold on. Oh, I'm not done. I'm not done. I have more. Hold on. Tiffany Ray. This is my last chance, Rob. This is it.
I know. You're getting it all in. You're getting it all in.
Tiffany Ray, you got worst of the week. Here we go. This is where Junior Gold has gotten. Even the scammers of the world are aware of the Junior Gold hysteria going on. Okay, here you go. Wait till you read this post. Do any of the pro shops have any specials? I can't remember what house last year had amazing sales. Looking for 2 3-ball bags. Also, wanted to share that the link for opening ceremonies was stupid. My mother was trying to watch and ended up putting her card information in, even though it said nothing would be charged. Never found the bowling streams, and within hours, her card got hacked. So Junior Gold hysteria has gotten so out of control that even the scammers are aware that people are trying to log in. Grandparents from all over the country, because their little Johnny grandson qualified for Junior Gold, they're trying to log in so they can watch the opening ceremonies, which basically means watch the kid walk. Okay? They're trying to log in to watch the kid walk, and scammers are taking advantage of that and saying, give us your credit card information.
Scammers are everywhere.
All right, here's another one. This is my next to last one. And my last one doesn't have anything to do with Junior Gold either. Gifted Olive. Actually, I'll make this my last one. Gifted Olive. And I'm not even going to categorize this in worst of the week. It's just got a reaction from me. I'm going to read a couple of the I'm going to read a couple of the comments. They need to make qualifying for Junior Gold more difficult.
Ooh.
Okay. They need to make qualifying for Junior Gold more difficult. I suck at this sport. I do not deserve to have a spot amongst all the good bowlers here. Okay. So that's a competitor coming on and expressing something that I have said probably goes on at Junior Gold a lot, which is kids realizing, oh my God, I'm nowhere near as good as the competition here, what I thought I was, et cetera, right? Well, one person comes on and says, bowling is a sport, or conditions can be different every day. Some days you can match up well, and some days you don't. Conditions will be the same for everybody there. If you have a good day, enjoy it. If you have a rough day, learn from it. Okay. Another person comes on and says, I'll bet you that changes over the next few years. And then a very informed person whose name I'm not even going to mention, but I just know they are one of the more informed people in the bowling community, okay, says, no, it won't change. If they make it hard to qualify, more people will stop coming. As it is, less and less are coming every year. One, because there's just simply less bowlers. And two, and I won't continue the post from there. I cut it off. But look, they're saying the same thing I'm saying. If you don't make it about this prestigious qualifying thing, people aren't going to come. Okay, if you make it harder to qualify, people ain't going to work that hard to make it. What the USBC discovered, and they're smart for this. I give them credit for this. They discovered that sports parents, if you convince them that their kid is elite in some way, they will spend anything they have to spend to provide their kids with an opportunity at that elite level. I mean, that's what it boils down to. You convince a parent that their kid is elite at something, and the parent is then going to be willing to spend whatever they need to spend for the opportunities to provide that kid with that. Right? So Junior Gold is smart in the sense that they make it pretty cheap and pretty reasonable for the parents throughout the year, right? You don't have to do anything much more than just bowl in your local league, bowl your local stuff, right? And then once a year, they say, okay, we're going to have them dig super deep, and spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a 2-week trip to come to this event, right? And I just, listen, I've given my my opinions on it ad nauseum. All right, Rob, let's wrap it up. All right, here's my final thought. It's going to be on Junior Gold. It's going to be on Junior Gold again. And I have to preface what I'm going to say by saying this. Listen, I'm not hating on anybody, okay? And I'm not pocket watching. All right. If people want to make money, God bless them, go make money. I just, again, like, it's very interesting to me being a sports parent and having the knowledge I have about bowling. Right. So like I know bowling inside and out. And then on the other side, I'm a sports parent who's navigating my way through these other sports that my kids are involved in that I don't know as much about the intricacies of things. Okay. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to pocket watch. God bless you. But I look at some things that I've seen this week going on in relation to Junior Gold. And it just caught my eye and raised my eyebrows. Is like, wow, like, people are really going to convince parents that that's where they need to be putting their resources, to improve their kids' bowling or performance or chance of getting a scholarship of some kind. And then I just saw this week a lot of ancillary business things popping up around Junior Gold. Several of them had to do with mental game training. Mental game training. The secret you need is to unlock your mental game training. That's the secret you need, mental game training. I mean, Rob, the vast majority of kids in this field need physical game training before they need mental game training.
Okay? I don't know. We could disagree. I could agree to disagree because I think if I started having mental training as a competitive bowler when I was 14 or 15 years old.
But hold on though. You were already at an elite level physically.
Correct.
Okay. So I'll give you that. All right. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody advertising mental game services to the vast field of Junior Gold and taking anybody's money to work with them on their mental approach to what they're doing.
I don't, it's part of to me, it's part of the big three that if you're going to get better, you have to get better at the big three. If you want to become a better bowler in general, it's the big three. The big three is physical game, mental game, and technical of the game. Do you want to get better at the game? So, I mean, I don't see what's the problem with bringing in kids to try to get better. Obviously, you're going to have to get better physically, but I don't see.
No, well, my point is that the coaches who want to be involved in that aspect, okay?
Kevin says if he finished at 980, he needs some kind of therapy too.
Oh my God, it's too good.
See, Nico puts a good point up too. He says, why would you need training to determine if that's what they're doing? So, like, I think you got to start looking at junior gold differently. And I'm going to sum it up here because we've talked about this, like you said, ad nauseum. Is stop thinking about it as like a national junior tournament and start thinking as it is a junior bowling like experience.
An expo
experience, a convention,
yeah.
Right? Instead of thinking about it as a national elite junior tournament, it turned into, because that's what it started as. It turned into a junior bowling convention, like a Comic-Con, right? Where you're just going to go there and you're going to get a full bowling experience. And if you start thinking about it like that, Mike, then maybe you won't drive yourself crazy when junior gold comes around every year.
True. Fair point.
Cool. Okay. My final thought, Nico took it. It's going to talk a little bit about PBA50 because there was a lot of like great PBA50 bowling going on. They had literally 5 tournaments. It was a World Series for PBA.
Yeah, we'll catch up on some of this in our next show too, right? It's junior gold time. So I'm sorry.
It is. But I mean, we're not going to get into full detail next week. But real quick, congrats to Mark Clark. If you don't know who Mark Clark is one of the most underrated bowlers that I've bowled with, against, and just know of. He's always been a name in the amateur bowling circuit, always was a player in the high roller days when I bowled. World Team Challenge guy, just always a great guy, but just an amazing game. And to watch him win a PBA50 major was awesome to see Mark do it. Congrats. Know Mark for a really long time. Is a great player, and to see him beat the people he beat, I just needed to throw him a kudos and a shout out. Congrats, Mark. But man, what a powerhouse of titleists. Jason Couch, John Janowitz, Mika Kuvanyemi, and Chris Barnes won the other 4 tournaments, Mike. So
awesome.
Yeah, just a great time to be able to watch and see a lot of your old nostalgia names winning. Chris Barnes has been having a hell of a PBA 50 year. The guy still competes with the young guys too. So it's not surprising. But all right, Mike. Well, I think we've done it. We went a little longer than we thought we were, but it is junior gold. And yes, the Lucy tournament is next week, I believe, or this week coming up.
Yep.
So at least you got some PBA action.
Bowl TV. It'll be on, I think, starting Thursday or Wednesday. Thursday. I forget. I don't know if they have any extra stuff going on Wednesday, but usually qualifying starts Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the finals are Sunday.
Yeah. I
won't be checking it out until Friday, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, Thursday to Sunday. So that's when it is. Nico, appreciate it. Anyway, all right, Mike. Well, go wrap us up like you know how to do it.
Hit us up on social media. I'm at the 215. He's at Brooklyn Rob 11. X is where we do most of our chatting. Email us. We got several good emails this week. We appreciate them. We'll be highlighting some of them in shows coming up. Continue the email, sweeptherack@gmail. Get your merch, Inside Bowling, content creators, code Patch Pirate, 15% off. Okay, get your merch. We're going to be posting some new shirts in the next week or two.
I sent some ideas. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I did. So be on the lookout for those. I think you guys will like them. Yeah, that's it. I think we'll be back for a show next week, very likely.
Sure.
And we'll see everybody on Sunday. All right.
All right. Later, guys.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.